Good day, everyone. I welcome you guys to my channel. In case this is your first time of subscribing, do well to subscribe to the channel. Then, if you are a constant subscriber, please keep watching my video. It worth watching. We are here to educate a lot of people concerning peacekeeping. This be my own side of the country. I don't see it as something that can benefit individual for whatever reason. Just very few people that have done research on it and find out that it's worth doing. It's worth doing well. So I'm here to give you guys something that is uncommon. I've been doing it for a very long time now. I have not been able to give out something from this side, but today I've decided to come up with what I called how to gather honey from Beehive. So with this, we're going to discuss more about that. I will start by saying that it is a fantastic to finally reap the sweet reward of beekeeping. However, a honey harvest is not always guaranteed just from keeping bees. The amount of honey made by the bees is dependent on the types of bees you keep. So it depends on the types of bees you keep. That is to tell you that there is so many types of bees in this world. So it depends on your locality, your area, and the kind of one you are keeping. So the nectar flows in your area, weather, environmental factors, and the age of your hives. Prior to harvesting, it is important to ensure that your bee have enough honey store before winter. Living in the northeast, the bees live in two dips. Those dips should be filled with plenty of honey at the end of the 4 years. This will be their food supply during the winter months. During the spring and summer months, honey super are placed on top of the bees' living space as an extra place for bees to store nectar, which they will eventually turn into honey. The honey super also provide more space for the bees to reside temporarily as in the colony soil during the spring and summer months. When you are ready to harvest honey, you need to remove the bees from the honey super's frame. There are a variety of techniques used to do this. Some people use bee escape borders, leaf blowers, or a bee brush. All are effective and up to your personal preference. Frame of honey should only be removed by harvesting as long as 90% of the comb is cut. So, as you can see it, That is what it is. One by one, I remove the beads from each frame full of capped honey. And I walk each frame over to an empty deep place in the sun, about 50 feet away from the hive. I cover this with a towel. This keeps the bees away from the frame. It takes about 40 minutes to remove all the frame. This process can be done a few days prior to harvesting honey. Or on the morning of the harvest. Once you have gathered all the frame, carry them to the place where you are. You will be extracting the honey. Some people extract the honey in the kitchen, others in the garage. Either way, the area can get stinky, so keep that in mind. The harvesting area should also be completely inaccessible to the bees. Keep the windows and doors closed. If not, bees will detect the honey harvest and arrive in minutes. If not, bees will detect the honey harvest and arrive in minutes. This can quickly turn honey harvesting into disaster. There are many techniques used to harvest honey from the frame. Using an extractor is the fastest and I believe the neatest. Inquire with your local bee club for an extractor, as many of them will rent or loan out the club's extractors. This helps to cut down on costs. It's very, very necessary because in as much as you are getting all these things, you need to get something that is presentable. Something that if you bring it out, people will say, yes, you actually did a very nice something. By me looking at it, even before testing it. So the environment matters a lot, and what you are using as your instruments or the techniques you embark on is another thing that you need to consider. So once the honey is extracted, it can remain in the sealed 5 gallons food grade plastic base, or you can add it to the honey jar immediately. The jars and lids should be washed and dried prior to adding the honey. So for you to add it, you need to wash it very well, ensure that there is no any atom of particles on it, because these things is something that one will eventually take in. So we need to be very, very careful when it comes to you putting the honey in the jars or gallon or wherever you think is the best for you for storage. So honey also require labeling. Prior to selling your honey, add the following. So for you to sell your this honey, you need to label it. You need to take all the necessary things that should be done, which includes the common name of the product. In most cases, white flower honey, your name, farm's name, phone number, if each one can reach you, should in case you need an extra, or maybe the one you supplied have finished, something like that. So you need to put your contact there so that we're able to reach you anytime, any minute. Then the next one is the net weight of the honey. It's still very important. You still need to include that in the labeling. It's very, very important. Your local bee club can also help guide you as the selling price of the honey per pounds. Selling your own honey is incredibly rewarding and helps to pay off the expenditure of beekeeping. So for you to sell your own honey, it's very, very okay. Very, very rewarding. It is something you know about from the beginning to the end. So you know how you did it, the packaging, and every other. So you don't need to be told on what to do there. It's what you know how to do best. So that is it.
Well, since that time up to now, we have suffered 5,000.
Honey from local beekeeper has many health benefits, and eating a bit a day can also help control seasonal allergies. Honey from local bees has very, very good health benefits. It is something that you can take in once in a day. It will give you something that will help you in the future. What is it?
So I think the most important impact is being part of the person. No longer in terms of having staff
So let me just give you some additional information concerning this bill. It has been estimated that 1 in every 4 bits of food has been made possible for the honeybees. As the honeybee population continues to struggle, many people are beginning to take up beekeeping as hobby. Of course, there are other benefits of keeping bees, including local pollination of your yards and gardens. Plus, we cannot forget about the delicious honey harvest. There are a few different ways to add bees to your yards. Perhaps the easiest would be to contact a local beekeeper and offer them space in your yard to place a hive or two. The beekeeper maintains the hives and your garden reap the benefits. This is an easy way to add bees to your property and a great way to decide if beekeeping is right for you. Once you are committed to exploring the hobby, investigate if there are any local beekeeper associations providing introductory beekeeping classes in your area. This is one of the best ways to get started. Many of these local organizations are comprised of a myriad of beekeepers with all levels of experience. This is especially good to determine best beekeeping practice for your area. They know what bees need to be successful and thrive in your particular climate. Sometimes you can also purchase equipment and bees at discounted prices from group rates through. The local library is another great place to do beekeeping research too. From books to periodical, there is plenty of information available in these topics. Once you have decided on which types of hives you will use, it's time to think about bees. There are many types of bees breed available. Popular breeds include Russian, Italian, Buckfast, mixed breed, to name a few. These their temperaments, honey production, overwintering, and ability to fight off diseases and meats will vary by breed. Bees can be purchased, or if you are lucky, you can try to lure a spring swarm to your hives. There are so many ways you can lure bees to your hives. But I know what I'm going to talk about today. There are two main options for purchasing bees. Bees can be purchased in either packages or knots, short for nucleus. Whether you choose to use a knock or a package, it is important to consider the climate where these bees were raised. Some beekeepers believe that it is best to care for bees that were reared in a climate similar to your own. They believe that hives overwinter better this way. It is also important to investigate the reputation success of the library. Packages include a queen and bees. These bees are ready to be put to work in the hive. They are all shaped in a screen box with the queen residing in the queen cage. There is a small feeder included and hundreds of bees. Once the package arrives, the bees are shaken into the pre-assembled hives.
At the beginning, we started by
The queen, still in her queen cage, is placed across the frames in the hives. Over the next few days, the bees acclimate to their new home. The bees will release the queen from her cage by eating through the sugar plug on the end of the cage. Once free, the queen will descend into the hives and begin laying eggs.
so that they can add on the existing ICT skills.
Nipples are considered small hives. Most have already overwintered and come available for sale in the spring. Nugs are small, closed boxes usually comprised of 5 frames. The queen and her workers are already established. She is laying eggs. There are workers, nurse bees, and drones. There is also stored honey and nectar in the knock as well. Knocks are very easy to install into larger hives. Once you arrive home with the knock, the main hive is opened. The center 5 frame of the new hives are replaced with the frame in the knock. The knock frame are placed inside the new hive in the exact same order and direction as they were found in the knock. Instantly, the bees have gained more room. It is also if they have gone from a bee condo to a mansion. Beekeeping is a fascinating and rewarding hobby. It is no wonder why it continues to pique the interest of many gardeners. I think my neighbor said it best the year we added bees to our garden. He said he had the best vegetable crop he has had in the years. Honey is an organic sweetener that requires no processing before use, nearly twice as sweet as granulated cane sugar. It can be used to sweeten tea, flavor your morning oatmeal, or transform a biscuit or a piece of toast in a treat that satisfies even the sweetest tooth. But the implementation of honey in your kitchen exploits need not stop there. Honey does many than serve as substitutes for plain sugar. Its distinctive taste and texture can transform food in ways that makes it clear why it has been in kitchen stable since, well, since before there were kitchen. Grazing. Excuse me. Cutting meat or vegetables in honey before baking not only bring an understated sweetness to traditionally savory food, the thick honey hold well to food surface, and the sugars will caramelize to create a crisp brown coating to seal in flavor. Honey baked ham is a holiday tradition, but a grace of honey and soy sauce applied to salmon may have you rethinking Christmas dinner. Baking. The sticky sweetness of honey feels like an obvious choice of pastries or cakes, but its value in caked goods goes beyond flavor. Honey retains moisture in a way many other sweeteners do not. Another keyword then is binding. This stuff is sticky. Just the thing when making granola, energy bar, or holding delicate cookies together. But as a natural emulsifier, it can be used anywhere in little viscosity will come in handy, giving it a shot when making homemade condiment like ketchup or salad dressing. Outstanding texture and flavor, all natural, versatile properties. This stuff has it all, but let us not forget that sugar is sugar, and it does carry with it the calories and carbohydrates that come with the territory. My friend John would like me to remind you that honey gets its sweetness from a combination of fructose and glucose. That is the same stuff from which high fructose corn syrup is made. Recently, I attended our local beekeepers meeting. The speaker was clear by Mr. John Bosco Asogwa, Professor Emeritus of Ecomology at the University of Nigeria and contributor to bee culture. As a new beekeeper, opening the hive makes me nervous. Will I hurt the bees? Break something? Get stung? Evidently, a lot of inexperienced beekeepers feel the same, and it's not uncommon for us to resume that if bees are flying, the hive is healthy, but Dr. Collins' lecture on inspecting comb changed my mind on that. Some basics on comb is where bees reproduce, store food and nutrients, and form a winter cluster to stay warm. When comb is damaged, it can cause brood baby bees to decrease and can also impact honey flow. The first reason to examine the comb is to check the overall health of the hive. As Dr. Collinson said, a new beekeeper and experienced one have very different ideas of a healthy hive. I thought my hive was strong the first summer, but now that I have seen the bees multiply over the second, I am in touch with Dr. Collinson metaphor for a healthy hive, one that is boiling over with bees. The second reason to examine comb is to check for the queen. If you bought your queen, she will likely be marked with a spot of paint to make her easier to identify. Listening for a gentle hum and look for legs. A single egg in a cell shows that the queen was there in the last 3 days. Then look at the pollen. The bee's food source. Is it fresh or wood and glossy? Bees will not forage for pollen if there is a problem with the brood or if the queen is not laying egg. The third, to examine the brood pattern. It changes seasonally, but in general, a solid pattern is good. Laying workers' bees have vestigial ovaries and can lay eggs if a colony is queenless, but can only lay unfertilized eggs If you see multiple eggs in a cell, that means you have got laying workers. Finally, check for the signs of common bee disease and pests such as fall brood, viral moth, nosema, or hive beetle. Examine the caps, color holes, not in center of cell, scattered pattern, sunken caps, color changes in larva and pulp. White is healthy and look for mummies, dried larva. If you find any of these and don't know how to deal with the issue, your local beekeeper association or your state apiarists can help out. As a novice beekeeper, I have started small with one hive and a minimum of two. I know beekeepers who need an extra room for their equipment, honey feeders, extractors, frame making gadgets, and more. I am not knocking it in 10 years. I will probably be there, but for now, these are the tools I cannot live without. One is Hive 2. The bees say the cracks in the hive with resin like propolis. You use the flat end of the multipurpose hive tool to break the seal, and once you are in the hive, scrape away excess comb. The curved end become a lever for pry up the frame. Number 2 is the mini smoker. I love my smoker because it's compact. I only need enough smoke for one hive. I load mine with pine needles, but you can use any fragrant fuel to calm the bees. Bees, tobacco, fabric, cotton, wood chips, and even cardboard. Number 3, glove. Next up, glove. I do not have a bee suit. Hate the uncomfortable thing, so I pull on an extra sheet and use my shoulder length glove to protect against stings. My favorite hat, number 4, hat and veil. My favorite piece, thought, is the veil that one of my bee mentors gave me. It belongs to Mr. John Bosco, a gentleman who kept bees for more than 50 years here in the East Nigeria. When he passed, when he handed it down to my mentor, When I when I wear it, I think about my grandmother, the first beekeeper in my life, Mr. Thomas, and my generous bee mentor. I becomes consider getting one of the new streamlined ones. But for now, leave my simple list of tools. I think I will keep it. Another thing I would like to let you know on this is bee season, a basic hive setup. I know you will like that. When I get when I got interested in beekeeping, I did the opposite of most beekeepers. I took a beekeeping class before I bought my hive. In fact, I think I was the only one in my class who did. I distinctly remember the other students laughing good naturedly because it was such a novel idea. Evidently, most people inherit a hive or they have worked with other beekeepers and know the drill, or they decide to just pardon the pun wing it. So if you are in the wing this cap or any of these other any of those others, you just want to start beekeeping, what do you do? Buy gear. Buy gear. A standard long straight hive, the white one everyone recognizes, consists of several boxes. The big one are called hive body, where the bees build brood or baby bees, and the small ones are honey supers, where they store the honey. A bottom board, a lid, an outer cover. You will need some frame to stick in the box for the bees to build their comb on. Most beekeeper outfit the frame with wax foundation, so the bees have something to start on. You will also need a smoker, a feeder of some kind, an entrance guard, and protective gear. For protective gear, you can buy a whole suit or just a shirt or jacket. You can use your own. I had also recommend glove. Mine comes up to my shoulders, and a veil, either built into your suit or separate. I bought the I bought the Kentucky special from the Walter T. Kelly Company because I liked having everything in a kit, from nails to foundation wax. It was recommended in my class. The name is just a happy coincidence. Coincidence. My kids came unassembled and unpainted, but you can buy ready-made kits too. I don't own a suit or jacket. I use a heavy cotton shirt, and my helmet and veil were gifted from another beekeeper. Find a location. The best location for a hive is facing east, near a water supply and preferably with often shade. Mine sits in the backyard under a tree, and the only downside is that I have to mow around them. This fall I plan to make a patio and garden back there so I don't have to irritate them and me with the mower. Get your bees. The easiest way to get bees, order them online. They come in a box either by mail or FedEx. You typically get 3 IBS of bees in a package, about 10,000 bees. And since you are starting a hive from scratch, you should order a package with a queen. I ordered mine from kellybee.com when I bought the hive. You can also order from local beekeeper. Find them through your local beekeeper association if you know a beekeeper who bees have swarmed. You may be able to charm them out of the swarm. Register your bees. Find your local extension service by calling your country government or Googling. Then ask if you need to register your bees. Most states require that you register all hive and that they be inspected once a year. Join a support group. Just kidding. But it might not hurt to join your nearest beekeepers association. They are a good place to find a mentor, buy local honey, purchase beekeeping supplies, and get bees. Bee season. Can backyard hive save the bees? It is a constant topic of discussion among many beekeepers' friends. Colony collapse disorder. It is the mysterious combination of disease, pesticide, and pests that caused our bees to die and somehow worse, simply disappear, leaving behind an empty hive. One of my co-workers lost 2 of her 3 hives last year. Another lost 1 of 8. We are all working to keep our hive healthy. And why many of the beekeepers in my local group do use chemical to treat hives, especially the big guys who depend on their hives to pollinate crops. The hobbyists I know tend to raise their bees using as few chemical as possible. It is a part of the reason we lost hives. According to this article, this sacrifice may be part of the reason bees ultimately survive. Our reluctance to use chemicals on our hive is building a stronger stream of bees, and when these bees mate with bees that are less genetically diverse, they get stronger too. Genetically diverse hive have fewer pathogens and more good bacteria. During a recent fall, I had veromites plus the worst outbreak of hive beetle ever. I hog oil feed beetle trap in the hive and treated for the night with uber sting and naturally occurring formic acid. I am researching alternatively miticide like Timor oil and powdered sugar. I am also looking into alternative hive like top bar hive and scapes that it lets bees build comb in natural shapes instead of on a wax foundation, which is supposed to be strengthen the hive. I like imagining that these little things will help bees thrive. Of course, it's all just one big experiment with honey. Please do well to subscribe to my channel, turn up the bell, like my channel so that when I come up with a new video you'll be able to see it. As you can see, it's very educating, so please do well to subscribe to my channels. Thank you, I so much appreciate you. See you next time. Thank you.